year. And all of it began the very moment that our leaders in the United States and Israel attempted to divide the land. Now, I want you guys to pay very, very close attention to everything else that I am about to reveal to you coming up next, because over the last 10 years, our ministry has accurately prophesied every single major global catastrophe and event that has happened over the last 10 years with a 100% track record, all recorded on our website and through our various videos and publications. And we were so accurate not only to prophesy the very event themselves, but even to the exact date, to the exact hour, and even the reasons behind why everything was occurring. We have prophesied in 3 years in advance the COVID-19 pandemic, not only when to the very exact date when it would occur, but also being the only ministry to prophesy exactly how long that this pandemic would last. We also prophesied to the very exact hour of the stock market crash in response to the COVID-19, the stock market crash and how it was going to happen. We also prophesied the mandates, the arrest, and the forcing of the churches and Christians having to shut down their services, close their doors, forcing them to meet in fields and parking lots. Also prophesied 2 years in advance to the very exact date of the Russian invasion into Ukraine. We also prophesied every single major war and conflict that has happened between Israel and Iran. Even the most recent bombardments of the Iranian nuclear sites prophesied exactly 3 years in advance when it would occur. And so all of these, this just so much more that we have recorded and kept an accurate prophetic account of everything. It's all recorded right there on our website and through our various videos as well. Now, I do not believe that we are in the tribulation period yet. This is not the start of the 7-year agreement that's spoken of by the prophet Daniel. I do not believe that the Antichrist has been revealed yet, nor do I believe that the rapture is about to happen. But what I do believe with absolute certainty is that the Abraham Accords are in fact 100% that agreement that will later be affirmed by the Antichrist. This is the very foundation. And what is happening right now has already been prophesied by Jesus. We were warned that there would be wars and rumors of wars, that there would be pestilences, earthquakes in various places. He told us that these things would come, that these things are not the tribulation period. They are the birthing pains. They are the setup, the foundation. These are the final warnings before we get into the end. And so we are entering into that very season that leads into the tribulation period. These are the events that make the way for the rebuilding of the third temple. They are the catalyst of the rising of the Antichrist, and they are the reason that the United States must be removed before the Gog and Magog war can fully unfold. Now, as revealed, there will be 4 specific signs of judgment over the nations, with the United States is going to be hit the absolute hardest. And we're already seeing the very early stages of these judgments that have already began to unfold. It began with the riots and the protests. In February 2025, just several months ago, I issued a prophetic warning that we had just 3 months to prepare. And I said that by May, these events would begin to unfold, and they absolutely have begun. In 2020, the 4 signs appeared in reverse order. First, it came plague with COVID-19, followed by the economic collapse, then civil unrest and riots broke out all across the nation. And then finally, war and international conflict erupted. So this time, it's the same pattern. It's unfolding, except it's unfolding in the actual correct order. On April 30th of 2025, I was led to publish a teaching on the coming Jewish New Year early. In fact, in that message, I was warned again that these 4 signs of judgment will begin to fall and materialize intensely. I stated clearly in that message that these events would begin to escalate in direct correlation with the Jewish feasts and the festivals growing in severity the closer we approach the month of September. On October 18, 2022, I published a prophetic vision warning of a second deadly pandemic. I revealed that it would be very similar in nature and very close to the first one, and the same reasonings behind the first one, they would be deeply connected. I also prophesied in that vision that a sign would be given concerning Trump's reelection, that his campaign would be held inside the Capitol itself. And then on April 15th and again on May 5th of 2022, this was over 2-3 years ago, I was shown a massive economic crash that would primarily devastate America and its Western allies. The collapse would also be so severe that it will cripple their ability to support Ukraine. And as a result, Russia is going to overtake Ukraine and completely reshape the entire balance of power over the entire continent of Europe. On May 10th, May 17th, and May 22nd of 2021, several years ago, I received prophetic warnings of a coming global war, World War III. This war will strike England, it's going to strike France, it will hit the Baltic nations, and it will also hit the United States. A massive conflict is coming both with Russia and China. And in one of my very first publication warnings on our website, social media channels, I was in fact shown that 4 prominent U.S. cities would be attacked. One of them being New York City would be completely destroyed. The others would include Washington, D.C., Boston, and Baltimore. Half of Washington, D.C. is going to survive these attacks, while the rest is going to be wiped out. So these warnings, again, are not random. They're not conspiracy theories. These have been heavily documented on our website. They are detailed. They have timestamped. They've been published and documented. And every single one of them aligns with the same biblical pattern of judgment that we've seen throughout history, except these signs are now starting to emerge. Now, my encouragement to you is this: to go back and read some of these prophetic publications, to watch the teachings, especially the one on the coming Jewish New Year for 5786, because there are some very deep insights in them. I don't want you to miss any of these details, and you need to really understand what is happening and why everything is happening. Now, do everything that you can right now to prepare. Do not delay any longer. Save what you can save. Set aside what you can set aside. Set aside essentials for you and your family members. Even the smallest step can make a whole world of a difference. When these attacks and everything starts taking off, they're going to start with the cyber strikes, and they're going to target our grid and our infrastructure. So that means no electricity, no communications, and no access to basic services. So make sure you have a backup power source, something, anything. It doesn't have to be big. But if you or any of your family members have medical needs, if you rely on refrigerated medications, oxygen, anything tied to electricity, you absolutely, without a doubt, have to have a way to sustain those needs. So think back to everything that happened during 2020, during that pandemic, and if you had known what was going to happen, what you would have done differently. Then do those very things. Do not delay. Make your appointments now, as I've been warning over the last 3 to 4 months. Take care of every lingering medical or dental work. Make sure you take care of any repairs that you need on your house or even on your car. Make sure your appointments are made right now. Take care of everything and have a backup plan. And if you live in one of those cities that I mentioned, New York City, Washington, D.C., Boston, Baltimore, pray, 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 and pray. Seek the Lord. Ask Him what to do and where to go. If you need to flee or stay put, and then have faith. Trust the Lord and then be obedient. 6 months before COVID-19 pandemic hit, my wife and I, we were told to leave New York City, and we did. We left everything behind. We moved because the Lord warned us of what was coming. And just recently again, we moved away entirely from the East Coast. And that was about 6 months ago. And so we are right in step, right on course with what the Lord has shown me. And then after all of this unfolds, here's what I want to leave you with. We will not be without help. God has not abandoned us. In fact, the purpose of all of these things is, in fact, to prove that He is still with us. Many people are going to rise up. They're going to declare that it's too late. that this is the end, that we have been forsaken. They're all going to declare that we're in the end times, the tribulation period, but they're completely wrong, just as they were wrong in 2020. The Lord has not left us without help. He is not completely abandoning us. In fact, this is the very reason that our ministry has spent the last 10 years preparing for this very moment. And when it comes, we are ready. As always, guys, stay encouraged. Keep running your race and keep fighting the good fight of faith. Whatever you do not lose hope and never, ever give up.